She pushed through the glass doors of Phoenix Elite Auto Gallery wearing a faded pair of jeans and a wrinkled white t-shirt. The air conditioning hit her like a wave, carrying with it the scent of leather and privilege. Sarah Thompson approached the showroom floor, her eyes immediately drawn to the gleaming vehicles that lined the walls like trophies. "Can I help you?" The voice cut through the air with calculated precision. It belonged to Marcus Bailey, who strode toward her with the confidence of someone who'd already sized up the situation. His designer suit probably cost more than her entire outfit. "I'm interested in that Lamborghini." Sarah pointed to the midnight blue Huracan displayed on a rotating platform. Marcus barely glanced at the car. "That particular model isn't something we typically show to walk-in customers. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable looking at our pre-owned inventory." His eyes lingered meaningfully on her scuffed sneakers. Sarah felt her cheeks flush. "I was hoping to purchase it as a gift for my brother. He's turning 40 next month." "Right," Marcus drawled. "Well, that specific vehicle requires pre-qualification. If you're serious, you'll need to schedule an appointment and bring proof of funds." Other staff members had noticed the exchange. Whispers rippled through the showroom as customers pretended not to watch the developing drama. "I'd really appreciate if you could tell me more about it," Sarah persisted, maintaining her composure despite the mounting humiliation. Marcus sighed dramatically. "Ma'am, I don't think you understand. This Lamborghini costs $325,000. That's more than most people's homes. Now, I've got actual buyers coming in this afternoon, so—" "What seems to be the problem?" The new voice belonged to Richard Carson, the dealership owner. He'd been observing from his office overlooking the showroom floor. "No problem at all," Marcus replied smoothly. "Just explaining to this lady that we handle luxury sales differently here." Richard assessed the situation with practiced eyes, taking in Sarah's casual attire and defensive posture. "Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding, Miss Thompson." "Sarah Thompson." "Miss Thompson, our vehicles are for a very specific clientele. Maybe you could return when you're more prepared for this level of purchase." The word prepared hung in the air like a blade. Sarah understood exactly what he meant. "I see," she said quietly. With what dignity remained, she turned and walked toward the exit. Behind her, Marcus' voice carried just loud enough. "Some people really don't know their place." 3 days later, a custom Bugatti Divo worth $5.8 million pulled up outside Phoenix Elite Auto Gallery. The engine's purr drew every eye in the showroom. From the passenger seat emerged a man in an impeccably tailored suit, James Thompson, tech mogul and founder of Thompson Innovations. Marcus practically ran to greet him. "Welcome to Phoenix Elite. I'm Marcus Bailey, our senior sales consultant." "James Thompson," the man replied, his handshake firm but brief. "I believe you had an interaction with my wife recently." Marcus felt his blood run cold. "Your wife?" "Sarah Thompson. She was here looking at the Lamborghini Huracan. You suggested she wasn't prepared for this level of purchase." Richard Carson had materialized beside them. "Mr. Thompson, I assure you—" "Let me be clear," James interrupted, his voice steady but carrying the weight of authority. "My wife chooses to live simply. She runs a children's education program that serves 5,000 underserved kids annually. She wears jeans because she doesn't need to prove her worth through appearance." The silence in the showroom was absolute. "Now," James continued, "I came here today intending to purchase not just the Huracan for my brother-in-law, but also replace our company's entire executive fleet. That's 10 vehicles. Plus, I was considering adding to my personal collection." Marcus had gone pale. Richard's eyes widened at the potential sales figures. However, James said, turning to face Richard directly, "I'm not sure this is the right establishment for such a significant investment. Tell me, Mr. Carson, is this how Phoenix Elite treats all its customers? Or just the ones who don't look wealthy enough?" A younger salesman, David Chen, stepped forward. He'd witnessed the entire encounter with Sarah 3 days prior. "Excuse me, Mr. Thompson. I wanted to apologize for not speaking up when your wife was here. It wasn't right how she was treated." James nodded appreciatively. "Thank you for your honesty, Mr. Chen." David Chen. "Well, Mr. Chen, perhaps you could help me with the Lamborghini purchase. It seems you understand better than your colleagues that capability and appearance aren't the same thing." David glanced nervously at Marcus and Richard. "I'd be honored, sir." As David led James toward the Huracan, James turned back to Richard Carson. "Here's what I propose. Complete the sale through David here, and agree to send your entire staff through sensitivity training on unconscious bias. Do that, and I'll consider bringing our fleet business here after all." Richard nodded eagerly. "Absolutely, Mr. Thompson. We would welcome that opportunity." Marcus stood frozen, watching his biggest potential commission, and his professional reputation, restructure itself before his eyes. 6 weeks later, Phoenix Elite Auto Gallery looked the same as always, but something fundamental had changed. Where once the staff had quick-assessed customers based on their appearance, they now approached each person with genuine curiosity about their needs. Marcus Bailey, humbled but wiser, had personally spearheaded the bias training sessions. The experience had been eye-opening, literally changing how he saw people and potential. When Sarah Thompson visited the showroom to surprise her brother by picking up his Lamborghini, Marcus approached her differently this time. "Mrs. Thompson, welcome back. I owe you another apology." Sarah studied him carefully. "The first genuine one was enough, Marcus." "I learned something important from you," he admitted. "That judging someone's worth by their clothing is like evaluating a book by its placeholder instead of its content." A small smile appeared on Sarah's face. "We all make mistakes. What matters is what we do after we recognize them." As she drove away in the midnight blue Lamborghini, Marcus reflected on how that brief interaction had transformed not just his approach to sales, but his entire worldview. The luxury cars in the showroom were still beautiful, still expensive, still desirable. But now he understood. The real luxury was treating people with dignity, regardless of what they wore or how they looked. And James Thompson. He eventually did bring his fleet business to Phoenix Elite. But not because of the cars or the deals. He came back because they'd shown they could change, could learn, could grow. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come wrapped in the humblest packages. You just have to be willing to look beyond the surface to see them. If you found this story thought-provoking, consider it an invitation to examine your own assumptions. How often do we judge others based on appearances? And more importantly, how many opportunities have we missed because of these snap judgments? Share your thoughts below. Your experiences might help others see the world differently.